as always, guests on Keel heard via the Jack Spring Electric Keel Newsmaker hotline. State Representative Alan Seabaugh is here. Mr. Allen, welcome back to Keel. Thank you for taking time for us this morning, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you. How y'all this morning?
We need you to simplify for us the condition of the state's unemployment fund. If it dips below $100 million, what happens? Is there a tax increase? If that's the case, what's the deal? And then we can get into opinions and particulars. But first of all, if it dips below $100 million, walk us through all of that, if you would be so kind.
All right. There's a provision in law that says if it dips below $100 million, a 30% surcharge or increase in the unemployment tax would automatically hit businesses. Whew. But and this is the big one.
I need a but on this one, Alan.
Not for 6 months. So it would happen in September. We're gonna, I think, hit that threshold later September, maybe early October, which means the 6 months would be March or early April. We would have 6 months to fix it. There's a couple of things that we could do. We're probably going to have a special session between now and then. There are some things that we can do before it kicks in. The speaker has gone public. In fact, there's a message on his Facebook page that says that is not going to happen. We'll go to a special session if we have to. I'm not going to let that happen under my watch.
Now, we are also mandated, I guess, to take out a loan from the feds. Walk me through that one also.
That is to keep paying the claims. To put in perspective how bad the unemployment situation is in Louisiana right now, and I pulled up some numbers yesterday. In the early 80s, when the oil glut crashed and Louisiana's economy was about as bad as it's ever been, we were processing between 60 and 80,000 unemployment claims a week. Right now, we're processing 300,000 a week.
Ooh.
So, whereas this time last year, that fund had over $1 billion in it and was sitting flush, and everybody was happy and nobody saw a problem coming. Now, with what happened this year, and quite frankly, the incentive of the extra money that the feds put in, I don't think we would have had as many claims as we did for $247 a month. But $847 a week got everybody excited. So I think we processed more claims because of the money that the feds put in. But we're continuing to pay that $247 a week on roughly 300,000 claims. And that's depleting the fund very, very rapidly. So we're having to borrow money from the feds to keep paying the claims. But that's not factored into the $100 million threshold, which triggers the increase.
Now, you had mentioned a second or two ago about the possibility of a special session in the spring to shore up the unemployment fund. You say special session, everybody, they go, tax increase? What are some of the possible solutions
how do you shore it up
of this special session?
Well, that tax increase certainly wouldn't be our first choice. We're actually supposed to have a special session this fall. All along, it's been assumed that we would have a special session in October, but that was supposed to be to spend the second round of federal stimulus money that comes in. But the feds haven't been able to agree on anything, and the general consensus is that Pelosi is going to hold anything until after the election. So we may have a special session as early as November or December, but we've been planning to have a special session before the end of the year all along. And this is something that we could certainly deal with during that special session. That does not necessarily mean that we have to raise taxes. What we're sitting in right now is we have several things we can do. You can move money from other areas. We have a rainy day trust fund, which has also been depleted. I mean, the bottom line is for the last 4-5 years, we've been greatly outspending our ability to pay. I mean, the 5 budgets passed under John Bel Edwards have been 5 of the 6 biggest in Louisiana history. The only one that taps that is when we got the $2 billion of federal money from Hurricane Katrina. That's the only time that we've topped this level of spending. If you look at the money that we spend, I mean, he's been overspending on purpose. Things like redoing the convention center in New Orleans, trying to turn it into a hospital, to the tune of almost $1 billion. When even the director who was running it said, we have 1,000-bed capacity now, and we only have about 120 patients. I don't see us hitting the 1,000. He said, go ahead and add another 1,000. Hundreds of millions of dollars completely wasted. And what he's trying to do is qualify us for more federal money. So he's pouring money down a drain, literally wasting it on nothing that will never be used to try to show the feds, look how much we spent on coronavirus, so give us more federal money.
Now let me ask you this:
fiscally responsible.
Are we not going to cut the amount from 247 to 220 something? Is that part of this deal too?
I don't know. I mean, we can certainly try, but I haven't heard that, but that may be in the works. I'm not on the committee that would do that, and I'm not, but I don't know. I mean, that's possible.